5 selections for week 12 of the Circa Millions contest. We're going to go through those really quickly. First up is the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5. The Chicago Bears team that they're taking on, they've been very, very lucky with this win streak that they've had. They've been trailing in like their last 4 or 5 games inside of 2 minutes before taking the lead. They've been really fortunate with the turnover differential at plus 16. We know this Pittsburgh Steelers team, one thing they do well is create turnovers. They actually are plus 8 in the turnovers, and that's even with Aaron Rodgers and the interceptions he's had in his last 2 games, really moving that number up. Otherwise, this would be a much better differential for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got 8 interceptions and 8 fumble recoveries on the year. So I really like the Steelers here. I think this is where the rubber meets the road for Chicago, and they're going to take an L. Their luck is going to finally, catch up with them, and they're just not going to be able to overcome the deficit. I think the Steelers, even with Mason Rudolph, if it's not Aaron Rodgers, are the right side here. Looks like they might have Alex Highsmith back as well. So the Steelers defense is going to be really, really ferocious up front. And I could certainly see them creating some turnovers with Caleb Williams. The way he can get loose with the ball, his ability to want to try to scramble around and make plays. He could certainly put the ball in harm's way. And we know this Bears defense has not been great other than the turnovers. They've really been, teams have been able to move the ball on them. And I just think this is where we finally see the Chicago Bears take a loss, take a step back, and the Pittsburgh Steelers start to march towards their chance of winning the division. So give me Pittsburgh plus the 2.5 as my first pick for Week 12. My second selection is the Seattle Seahawks minus 13.5, taking on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Now, we know Mike McDonald's been better against the spread on the road. This Tennessee team, although they did cover the spread in the 2 before they went into the bye, lost both games outright. And I don't see them scoring very many points against this Seattle defense that's, one of the best defenses in the league. They held the LA Rams offense to 21 points with their quarterback having 4 interceptions. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to have the same issues with turnovers he's had the last few weeks. We're going to get the best version of this Seattle team, and I think this is a one-sided affair for Seattle. I have this game as a 35-13 matchup in Seattle's favor. I expect a couple turnovers by the Titans offense. Ridley's out for the year. They don't have much of a running game. Their offensive line can't block very well, and we know Cam Ward is prone to fumbles. So we could certainly see him taking some sacks and some turnovers for the Seattle defense, leading directly to points. I think JSN and Rashid Shaheed will have big games. I don't expect Darnold to play as poorly as he did last week. And we're going to see the Seattle team get back and show us why they are the number 1 DVOA team in the NFL, and the Tennessee Titans are the number 32 DVOA team in the NFL. And just for context, no number 1 team in DVOA has ever lost to the number 32 team in DVOA. So if you think a team's going to win, you got to think they're going to cover. So give me Seattle minus the 13.5. And this game probably won't be very popular because people don't tend to like to mess with the double-digit spreads in the Circa contest. So we could get a point here and not be in the consensus top 5. My third pick is the Cleveland Browns plus 4. I think the overreaction to Shedeur Sanders' half of play last week against a very good Baltimore defense is a little much here. This Las Vegas Raiders team is not good. Their offensive line cannot block. They cannot get anything going with the run game. The Cleveland Browns defensive line is outstanding. Their defense is good. Their offensive line for Cleveland is actually pretty good. They can run the ball, and we saw that the Raiders are not good against the run. If you can take care of Max Crosby, you can move the ball on this team. I think people are overreacting to what they saw in that limited amount of time that Shedeur was on the field last week. Now that he's actually practicing with the ones, I think we're going to get a good game out of him. I have no faith in this Raiders team at all, and I don't think they're going to really rely on Shedeur Sanders too much. I think we're going to see a very run-heavy game plan for Cleveland. They're going to lean on their defense. They're going to lean on their special teams. And with it being +4, I'm going to take the points with the team who has the better offensive line and better defensive line, and that is the Cleveland Browns. And I also don't think this is going to be a very popular side in the contest. So we could be on the contrarian side and not in the top 5. So my fourth pick is the Dallas Cowboys +3.5. This is a good situational spot for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak has been very good against the NFC East over his career, and he's also really good against the spread in primetime games. I think the Philadelphia Eagles missing their offensive lineman, Lane Johnson, is going to be a big problem. This pass rush for Dallas could potentially get after Hurts. Saquon just hasn't looked like himself this year. And the passing game for this offense for Philly has not looked like its explosive self. The offense is really struggling. I think the Dallas Cowboys will be able to put up some points and pass the ball on this Philly defense. Their offensive line is actually playing halfway decent. They can run the ball. I think Philly looked – they won against Detroit last week, but that was a hobbled Detroit team in a bad situation for their quarterback Goff. But now they've got to go to Dallas, take on the Cowboys here. So I'm going to take the home dog +3.5 with the Dallas Cowboys as my fourth pick in Week 12. And the fifth and final pick, this one we could get a little tinkering, so be sure to check back in on Saturday during the release show live stream, because we may go a different direction though. But I like the Bucs here with them getting back Godwin and Irving. As long as their offensive line is healthy, I think they're going to be able to run the ball on this Rams team. I think the Rams are getting a little bit more hype than maybe they should. I mean, I know they're a really good team. Obviously, they've been good to us the last couple of weeks. They've covered the spread for us. They didn't cover the spread last week. They covered the spread before, but they won outright. But I think this Bucs team saw something. We'll be able to take something from that Seattle game, at least the defensive game plan. And Todd Bowles will have his defense ready to play. I don't think this Rams are going to put up a bunch of points on Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa Bay will be able to move the ball. I think if they have all these pieces back on offense and Baker's looking a little bit healthier after the bye, I like their chances here. Obviously, coming off that tough loss in Buffalo, that was a bad scheduling spot for them with the weather and everything else on the road in Buffalo. But now they're going out to L.A., even though they got to travel to the West Coast. It's inside, so this is a much better opportunity for Baker and this offense to put up points, passing the ball, and running on this LA defense. So for my fifth and final pick, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers +7. So there you have it. Those are my 5 picks for Week 12 of the Circa Millions contest. Now be sure to check back in on Saturday during the live stream for the selection show here on YouTube, as we'll be confirming what picks we have, although they'll already have been submitted by that time officially. But if you're betting the sides, I like these sides regardless. Even if I take one side out, I won't be flip-flopping the game. I just might have a better feel for another game. But the way it looks right now, these are the 5 I'm going with. So it's Tampa Bay +7, the Dallas Cowboys +3.5, the Cleveland Browns +4. This is the stinky game of the week. Hold your nose. Don't even watch it. Seattle -13.5. I got this as a blowout. 35-13 Seattle over the Titans. Titans are going to go back to not covering spreads. They're playing the number 1 DVOA team. They're not covering this one. This is a blowout. And the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5. I think the run of luck for the Chicago Bears is going to come to an end, as they will not win the turnover differential in this game, and that will be the difference for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there you have it. That is the NFL contest show for week 12. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And join us on Saturday for the live stream. And you can also join me on Monday nights after the Monday night football game for the late night at the lounge weekly recap and the next week's early line predictions and discussion overall. But all right. That is the end of the Week 12 NFL Contest Show. Good luck to everyone this week. I hope you have some winning bets. Be sure to join us on Saturday.